All right.
Damn.
Also record it from here too. Just back up as well. Okay. Yeah. All right. Perfect test. Okay.
All right, part two again.
All right, part two again.
So I'm just gonna say, we don't have to put it in there, I'm just gonna say it. Guys, we just recorded 40 minutes of probably some of the best conversations we've ever had.
And just to
realize
realize
the whole time
the mic is not working. Damn it.
So now we have to start all over.
All right.
But let's do it. So
you want to start with the intro?
Welcome to the Beyond Wealth podcast. I'm Robert Potter.
J Flow Picks.
We're going to go over the term wealth because we both have a similar belief on wealth. There's more to wealth than just financial wealth. People think of money wealth, generational wealth, and that's a big part of wealth.
Yes.
But there's also mental wealth, physical wealth, spiritual wealth, female wealth. I mean, there's so many different types of wealth. We all know this because when you play a video game, you don't just level up one part of the character. You want to level up every single attribute that you can, right?
Yes.
So it's the same, it's taking this and applying it to real life. You want to level up your own character in all the realms.
I want to hear your perspective on self-belief.
I think self-belief is the first stepping stone towards success.
Yes.
Because if you truly believe in yourself, you believe in the mission, you believe in your vision, then it's going to be much easier to wake up every single day and chase that vision. If you don't believe in it, those days where you wake up, you're tired, it's going to be much easier to kind of clock back out and go to bed. You know why? Because you don't feel like the work is getting you anywhere.
Yes.
But if you really believe, you really know where you're going, you know everything is going to pay off, then it's so much easier to be disciplined and to lock in and chase your dreams.
That's true. And I'll relate this to my story of when I started my videography business and photography. And man, I believed in myself so much. I believed that I was going to become a millionaire. I believed that I was going to have a lot of connections. I believed that I was going for a greater purpose. And I remember everyone being against that dream. And I remember everyone being against that purpose. So many opinions. Oh, you need to go to school. You need to this. And half of me actually fell for it because I didn't understand self-belief at the time. I had to learn how to believe in myself. I had to, over time, know it. Because I wasn't a 9-to-5. I went to college. I did 4 years in college and dropped out of my last class in aviation. I was a busser and I was doing Uber. And the whole time I'm building my business slowly and slowly. And every day I'm at work. I'm like, I believe in myself, but I don't believe in myself enough. Because every day I'm at that job, I'm like, man, I need this manager to just fire me already. Like, you know, I was just begging to get fired. I was just praying to get fired. And I remember one of my boys that I was working with, and he's like, Jay, why don't you just quit? And I told him, I said, man, because I'm scared to quit. And I was scared to quit because I didn't believe in myself enough. And it's crazy. It took me getting laid off and being just me, my four walls, and just the vision. And when I had the vision, I just started taking action. And then my purpose started, the abundance just started coming in. And day by day, things are started to work out. The stronger I believe in it, the stronger I believe in the dream, the stronger I start to talk about it, the more I start to talk about what the purpose was and what I was chasing after. So that's my perspective on belief. Because if you do not believe in yourself, like Robert said, you are going to quit. You're not going to have that self-discipline. It starts with your belief system first. And I'm going to recommend read Atomic Habits. I think Atomic Habits. That's a really good book. I'm actually bummed out I didn't read it way before. I read that book last year. Yeah. After I was already believing in myself and had a good amount of discipline. But yeah, man.
Yes. To your point, one of the things you said was people were telling you to quit. You listened to that, and people's opinions suck. You cannot listen to people's opinions because most of the time, the people that are sharing their opinion are not people at the top. Because hate never comes from above. People that are at the top, they're too busy chasing their mission to worry about you. When you have haters, when you have people giving those bad opinions, really that's a reflection on themselves because they hate themselves and they see you doing what they wish they were doing, but they don't hold themselves accountable.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're shielding themselves from accountability by hating on you. So if you actually make it, then they'll say you got lucky. They'll say your dad paid for it. They'll make up all these excuses, but in reality, it's not even, you can't blame them because it's not their hate for you, it's their hate for themselves.
Yeah.
Stop listening to people's opinions unless it's a mentor or someone that you really want to live like. You know what I mean?
And this goes back to imagine that I listen to these people. Because let me tell you, throughout this journey, bro, I got robbed 3 times. And I remember this is just one of the few incidents that I remember, because those are times I could have quit. You know how expensive equipments are. 3 times I was robbed in 3 different sceneries. Imagine that I quit on the first robbery. Imagine I quit on the second. Imagine I quit on the third time. 3 times. And some people are quitting on the first round.
Yeah.
They have no idea if they, and let me tell you, man, every time I came down, I bounced back harder. The second time, I bounced back harder. And all the millions of things I try to make me quit, I bounced back way harder. And to see where my life is now and from where I was before and where I am now, it's such a, bro, I'm so grateful that I was able to accomplish that much.
Yeah.
Now, what's your take? You know, we're talking about quitting right now. Yeah. And it's a lot of quitters in this world. People are they give up on themselves so easy, bro.
Yeah. What's my take? You don't lose until you quit, right? If it was super easy to be successful, then everyone would be successful, right? So you already know there's scarcity in being successful. And most people are quitters, which is why they'll never get there. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of people at the top, they're not even the best at what they do, right? They just never gave up. They just outlasted everyone else because everyone else quit. It's not even about being the best sometimes. It's literally sometimes it's just about not quitting.
Keep going.
And let me tell you something. I will become everything I want to be in life. You will become everything you want to be in life because no matter what happens, I will never quit. I believe in myself. I have self-belief. Every day I will wake up and every second of my day will be geared towards getting to my vision, getting to my goals. And no matter what fucking happens, brother, you will not see a second of me quitting. You will never see an ounce of quit in me because I truly believe in myself and I have the discipline to get there. And that's what it takes to be successful, especially nowadays when everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to be some big investor. Now, there's a lot more fish in the pond. You have to find a way to separate yourselves. And most people, they are quitters. And that is the biggest thing you can do to guarantee yourself success one day is to never, ever quit. Take it out of your vocabulary.
This just gave me flashback to 2016 or 2017, I think. I remember leaving work. It was midnight, and I was debating if I should do Uber that night. And I'm at a red light, and I decided to pull up my phone. And mind you, this is after years of continuously going through people, workers, friends, family, saying, it's not making any money. It's not bringing, why are you doing this? Why is this? It's just a hobby. Other videographers that was in videography that quit are telling me, it's not worth it. It's not, all of these. And I remember that night I'm in the car at a red light and I pull out my phone. I'm going to look for that clip. And I posted on Instagram. I said, I will not quit. It doesn't matter how much shit that I go through. I will not quit. Because I know the vision. That time I started believing in myself more. The more I spoke about it, the more, because I was already doing the action. Because there's a lot of people out there that are doing the action. And they're still in their mind. Their mindset is not there yet. So they're just going, but they're not going anywhere. And you have to be very mindful of that because you could be taking a lot of action and moving forward, but you're not moving forward towards anything. So what Robert said, the self-belief and believing in yourself and not quitting is, man, that's the only thing that you need if you really think about it. Not quitting, because the rest comes, all of the other factors, you just learn them as you go.
Yeah.
But the only things that keeps, the only thing that stands between success and failure and you actually failing for good is quitting. Because when you fail, you're always going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I saw this thing, I think Brad David posted it the other day. It said, if I was to go back and erase all my mistakes, I would erase myself.
Yeah. That's deep.
when I read that, I was like, man, imagine all the mistakes that I've made.
Yeah.
And all the mistakes that you've made. It's the experience.
But let me tell you why you grew from those. That's because you had accountability for yourself.
Yes.
And as a man, you should take accountability for every single situation, even if it's not your fault. Because if you take accountability, you can look at every little intricacy that went right and went wrong. You can analyze it and you can make improvements on it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you take accountability, you're in control.
Yes.
If you say you're going to wake up at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. and you're going to go to the gym, you do it. If you say you're going to go to bed at 10 a.m., 10 p.m., you do it. You hold yourself accountable to yourself, to your words. And when you start setting these goals and you actually hold yourself accountable to them, you have to do it. Whether 5 people or 5 million people watch this podcast, I just put out, 5 minutes ago, that I'm going to be worth millions and millions of dollars. Me and you have one goal. We talked about our goals. We have 2 goals, but the main goal is we have a vision of one day 2 supercars driving through the mountains in Europe. And we will do it. There will be a video on our page in the next couple of years of us doing it. And again, I'm putting it out there because I want to hold myself accountable. And whoever watches this, they're going to hold me accountable. Even if it's just 5 people. Because if I don't do it, maybe someone's going to comment one day, hey, remember when you talked about driving through the mountains? Where you at now, bro?
And there's another thing, as he's saying this, maybe probably last month, Robert calls me and says, man, I can't sleep. I just want to get to it. I can't sleep. And I come down and, someone must have told him to rest. And
a lot of people.
Let me tell you, bro, I'm the same. People have been telling me to rest for years. And I remember I'm looking at Robert and I've been there so many times and I'm looking at Robert. Robert's like, man, I can't rest until we on a freaking yacht in fucking Monaco smoking some freaking cigars. And I'm like, hell fucking yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Because when I heard that, it's not that what he's saying is knowing that he truly believes in it. Is knowing that, because from my perspective, I'm looking at, man, okay, I got a solid, partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have somebody that has the same mindset, that has the same goals. Even though in certain things we may want different things, we have the same goals.
Same vision.
And we have, and we are alike in so many ways. And man, it's such a beautiful thing when you have the right energy around you and it becomes like the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Because you just can't be everybody.
Yep.
Right? You need that. You need that. Not a lot of people know that. They need it. And to go back to the point of accountability, it's always your fault. And I'll tell you what, certain people out here, bro, the spiritual people, and these guys do not take accountability to save their life. And I've been around a few. I'll give you an example. They'll make a bad decision. Instead of saying, okay, I've made a bad decision. Okay, I didn't pay the bill this month. Damn, they cut my lights off. That's why they cut the lights off. Okay, what do I do next? Okay, damn, I messed up here. All right, it's my fault. Okay, how are we not gonna make this work? They blame this shit on the moon. They blame it on the universe. They blame it on God. God, why me? And then now they fall into the whole depression. And man, it's crazy, bro. I grew up very different. And when I came to America, I had a culture shock. And I was around people that would say they're depressed. And I've seen the depression behavior. And correct me if I'm wrong.
It's contagious.
Thank goodness I didn't let it get to me. And correct me if I'm wrong. The depression behavior is, damn, something bad just happened. I'm going to go sleep it off. I'm going to go have a drink. I'm going to go,
smoke some
what's
weed.
A getaway? I'm gonna go smoke
Watch
some weed.
Porn.
No, watch some porn. Bro, they run away from the problem.
Yep.
And I've witnessed friends going through that. I'm like, yo, snap out of it. Yep. You're not depressed. You need to face the problem. You're like, oh, Jay, I'm depressed. Jay, I can't listen to this. It's 11 a.m. Wake the fuck up.
Yep.
Your life is fucked up. Let's fix it. Bro, even when they have somebody that's willing to help, they don't want the help. Even when they have somebody that's around them that's willing to help, they don't want the help. They rather just sleep it off. They rather just, run away from the problem and have all of these excuses and not taking accountability for these kind of actions, because They'll keep blaming the universe for them. And that is such a horrible mindset to have. And you do not want to find yourself around those people because it is contagious. And thank God I never allowed that to get into my head. Because there's one thing about, and I'll tell you this, because I believe in myself enough, I did not allow it to drown me.
Yeah.
Because imagine if I was in a different mindset, I would have been doing the same things. Because every bad thing that ever happened to me, I overcame it. And those, you know how people, if you ever had a depressed friend around you, you know how to get them to get off depression?
Tell me.
Let's say something happens to you. Let's say I'm the depressed friend and I see something happen to you. The way you handle the situation, when I see it and I'm witnessing it, I now believe that I could overcome. It's not the talk, oh, you're loved, oh no, it's the action. Like, I'm so grateful my friend was able to see it and got himself out of that mindset. I didn't need to get him out. Just by my action, he was able to take himself out of it. So I know that's not the board, but what's your take on what I just said?
Well, yeah, to go back to your point, because you said you had depressed friends, I curated my circle. And I had to go through that lonely phase, which we will touch on in a second. That's very important. But my grandfather used to always say, it's a very old saying, it's called birds of a feather flock together, right? And the first thing you have to do is improve on yourself. You have to take that self-accountability. It all comes down to self-accountability. Because if you are that kind of person, you're going to be friends with those kind of people. Those are the people that are going to be around you. And you're never going to be able to grow until you surround yourself with better people or you go on your own. And a lot of people are so scared to be lonely, to be alone. But in every entrepreneurship journey, there is that 6-month period while they grow where you have to just be alone.
Yes.
You might be lonely. You might not be around friends. But that's the time where you read books. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn about the world. That's when you grow the most. And it's a big separation from the people that actually have the strength to go through that time period and the people that don't. Because once you go through that period and you actually have the understanding that you can be alone for a little bit, you're comfortable being alone, that's when everything gets better, especially with relationships. Because a lot of guys are so scared to be alone that they'll start chasing women. And if you're chasing women, you attract what you are. So you'll find a woman that's chasing a man. And those are not the women you want to be with. The best women you can be with are the women that aren't looking for a boyfriend. They're just focused on their own thing. And when you don't look for a girl, you find a girl that's not looking for a man. That's when you guys somehow find each other. It's always when you're not looking is when you find the right person.
That is true, man. It goes back to accountability. And a lot of men will say women don't take any type of accountability. And I have to say I've met women that take accountability. And the women that do take accountability for their actions, they're great communicators. They're very understanding. They're very loving. And you have the right person around you when you have a woman that is accountable for her actions. Because I can't imagine finding someone and with the direction that I'm going, and that has to match the goal, match the purpose. And for them to not have a sense of accountability, because if they don't, what happens is you get distracted. You get in very little petty fights that doesn't require your attention, and that deviates you from your goal. A lot of guys are into arguments right now about, oh, women doesn't take accountability, this and this. It's like you said, you are attract. You are what you attract. If you're not taking yourself accountable, you're going to attract a woman that doesn't take herself accountable. Because when you see it, you'll know to get yourself out of it. The woman that you have besides you is very super, because you're better off single than to be with the wrong woman.
And that's a very good point that you just made, because it's very true. If you are, I'm going to give an analogy. If you are in the middle of the desert and you're thirsty, that doesn't mean you go drink poison to quench your thirst. You get what I'm saying? If you are super lonely, that doesn't mean you go hang out with toxic people to fix the loneliness, because you're just going to end up in an even worse situation. You have to be comfortable in that unknown period where you are alone. You don't know what's going on. You feel lonely. You have to be comfortable. You have to grow from it. So women don't have to be accountable. Women and children are the only people that don't have to be accountable because they're loved no matter what. But if you can find a woman that does take accountability, it's one of the best things you can do, right? But it always comes back to you, because if you were with a girl who didn't take accountability, it's your fault for being with her.
Yeah.
It's your fault for choosing her. You have to blame yourself because you chose to be in that relationship. You chose that girl knowing that she was toxic. You chose the girl knowing she was crazy. Whatever the situation is, your fault, always.
What you just said, yes, like Robert said, it's up to you to choose the person that you want to take serious for the rest of your life. And if this woman is going to be the mother of our children and is going to be my wife, she has to have a sense of accountability, because that is a huge part of growth. How do you expect to grow? How could I even trust you to help our children grow if you don't take any accountability? Because you have to keep in mind, the kids are going to be most likely around their mother. Children tend to be around their mother more than they are with their father. And I grew up in a traditional home. My dad was always at work. My mother was always at home. Imagine my mother not having a sense of accountability. And everything that she does, she just gets away with it. She just runs away from it. Guess what happens to me? I'm going to have the same trait. And when my dad comes back home, he has discipline. He's ambitious. He holds himself accountable, which adds a plus to it. But it's also because he has the right woman. That means he could close his eyes and just go to work and provide with the free mind, without even having to think, oh, okay, I need to check on my wife, make sure the kids are good. You just know off backs.
Yeah.
You could die today in peace and be like, okay, my kids are fine. And it has nothing to do with money. It has to do everything to do with mental. I find myself a very ambitious person. I have a really strong drive. And I will also say that you have a really strong ambition and a really strong drive as well. And I recognize it since we met, even before we partnered.
Yeah.
And ambitious, you don't need motivation when you're ambitious.
They're kind of tied hand in hand.
Hear me out real quick. When you're ambitious, you don't need motivation off of materialistic and that dopamine hit from YouTube channels or anything like that. When you're ambitious, when you have drive, you don't need it. You could hear it and it will give you a boost. It's like going 160 and you have a nitrous boost, but you don't really need it. When you have drive, not a lot of people have that. If they have motivation, they don't have ambition. They're motivated for just a short period of time, and that is gone. That drive is gone. They'll have that drive for about maybe like 2 hours max. And then tomorrow they're back to doing the same bullshit that they were doing. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a believer strictly in discipline because motivation comes and goes. If you're disciplined, you're going to get it done no matter if you're motivated or not.
Yes.
Because you hold yourself accountable. If you say you're going to do it, you do it.
Yes.
So a disciplined person, whether I'm tired, whether I feel great, whether I'm sick, I'm going to get whatever needs to be done. So ambition ties more into discipline than it does into motivation. Because, of course, if you're motivated and disciplined, like you said, that's like a nitrous boost. You're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
But most importantly is to be disciplined. And ambition helps with discipline. Because if you're super ambitious, you're an action taker.
Ambitious mean motivation?
Ambitious is similar. An ambitious person is usually a motivated person.
It's like drive.
Yeah. If you're just motivated, you'll never have the consistency to really be successful.
Yes, it is, bro. And let's dissect discipline a little bit more. I used to think I was in discipline until I, spoke to one of the guys that was highly successful that I know, a friend, and he said, "Jay, why do you think that? You're very disciplined." But I was basing that statement off of one thing I was in discipline in. When it came to my purpose and my goals and my career, I'm very disciplined. But then it's like, I used to wake up and not do my bed. I used to wake up and just go to work and not clean the house. Someone could see that and say, oh, this person is not disciplined. And he dissected. He was like, Jay, there's so many different types of discipline. If you're good all around, jackpot. But everyone has discipline into something that, how could I say this? Not something that they love. Everyone has a certain level of discipline, but you have to master them all. Right? You wake up, make your bed, get to work, maybe go to the gym. Some people are really good hard workers, but they're not going to the gym. Some people go to the gym, but they're not working hard enough. Some people are great at cleaning their house, cleaning their room, but they're horrible at making money or having financial discipline. There are so many routes with discipline. You have to see where you're at. What is it that what is my strongest pursuit when it comes to discipline? What is it I'm doing right now that there's nothing that could stop me? Even if things goes wrong, I make sure I get it done. Once you find that, it's now you have to uncover. Did I make my bed this morning? Okay, did I read my devotion? Did I work out? There's so many factors. With that point is, someone, keep in mind, I used to think I was in discipline mainly because there was other factors I wasn't fulfilling. But someone said, Jay, like, I'm looking at you, you're a very disciplined person.
So that's one of the best things. If you always feel like you're not doing enough, then you are a very disciplined and ambitious person. Yeah. That's what you want. Because disciplined, ambitious people that are going on the right path to success always feel like they're not doing enough. Mm-hmm. Even if they're working 24 hours, I could have worked 25 hours, right?
Yeah.
They always feel like they can do more. If you feel like you're overworked and you're doing too much, you're not in that mental space to be at the highest level. Mm-hmm. Or you can put.
What are some mental barriers are we facing today?
One of the biggest mental barriers is people not having self-belief, not truly believing in themselves. Mm-hmm. You know at UFC a little bit, right? Conor McGregor was interviewed after he knocked out one of the greatest featherweights of all time, Jose Aldo. He knocked him out in 13 seconds. And before the fight, he said he was going to knock him out in the first round. And he said he was going to knock him out because his right hand would get him into trouble. Mm-hmm. Well, in the fight, the guy threw the right hands, Conor slipped it, and then knocked him out. After, they did an interview, and Conor McGregor said, if you have the vision to see it and the courage to speak it, anything can come true. One of the things with mental barriers is truly having that belief, being able to envision the actual success. Because a lot of people, they feel like they're not actually capable of success. They don't truly see it. They don't truly believe it. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're from a small town. You don't even know, people don't even realize what they're capable of. They don't know what's out there. So there's a lot of mental barriers, but the most common ones is lack of self-belief, a lack of understanding of the world, and a lack of realization of how much money and success there actually is out there.
Yes, mental barriers. It starts, for you to overcome that, it started with me being alone. I boxed myself in a room. I didn't go to the beach. I didn't go see a view. I didn't go to the park. I didn't go and try to clear my head. I stayed, turned off all the lights. And it's just me and my thoughts. Learning about me, learning about my vision, learning about my purpose, getting to know myself, asking myself questions, being a therapist to me. And once you overcome and being comfortable with yourself, being by yourself, then you know the kind of crowd that you want around you. And when you start getting into those crowds and being around people that have similar visions and similar goals and similar characteristics, you see how far you go, because it's not just your thoughts. Because I could talk to you right now and then I have my thoughts and I'm like, oh man, I kind of like that. That's a positive, that's a very positive input. And once you get into those crowds of people, you start to learn things. Then you see the mental barrier, the gate starts to open. Because everybody has ideas. So now your idea just starts flourishing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You have the root of your idea. You meet somebody that has the same similar goals, similar characteristic. Then they have their own perspective. You hear it. You're like, oh man, this goes good. And then guess what? You grow even higher. You take another step. Then the next thing that comes for you to break that mental barrier, because when you're alone, that's how you gain self-belief, you believe in yourself thoroughly, and over time, you start, to build a very, very strong relationship with those kind of people. because you need people around you. You need good people around you. Once you get around once you get around those people, you're dealing with yourself. Hard, things are gonna come your way. Barriers are gonna try to stop you. Shit, my words are not forming. Things are going to start getting in your way of the mission. Bad things are going to happen. You're going to suffer. Every time you break past that barrier, you just broke another a mental barrier. You break another one, you at another level. And every time you look back, you're like, man, can't believe I was allowing myself to stop there. Because people do reach a point where they're like, damn, is this for me? Should I quit? And that's human nature. And what's your take on that?
Understanding human nature is extremely important. All the people that are super successful, they understand human nature. Sales is understanding human nature. A lot of people that have became big figures do it by understanding human nature. For example, we'll talk about Imam Ghazi because a lot of people know who he is. He really understands human nature, and humans don't want to work hard. They want to be successful without working hard. So what does Imam Ghazi do? He makes it seem effortless. If you go to his Instagram, he always talks about that he doesn't care about his Instagram. His Instagram is just a bunch of random photos. He doesn't care. But if you actually look carefully, he'll take a dumb selfie to make it seem like he doesn't care, but behind that is a supercar. Behind that is a picture of his mom, a handbag he just got her, a McLaren, a G-Wagon, vacation. It's all an illusion to make it seem like it's effortless. He doesn't care, but look how great his Instagram looks. When in reality, of course, it's all a plan. It's all a system. They're making him look great.
Yes.
And he plays that game on people because he understands how they think. So when people see that, they're like, oh, look how successful he is. Look how great his page is, and he doesn't even care. I care so much, and my page doesn't even look half as good as his.
Yes.
So then they want to watch him, or they want to learn more from him. They want to see what the hell, how does he do it? And it's all just him making it seem effortless, when in reality, it's not the case at all.
And man, when we talk about understanding human nature, there's huge pros and cons. The pros of understanding human nature, what to do to make it out in life. And especially for salesmen. But at the same time, understanding human nature, depending on who it is, could be a very bad thing. For example, like the mindset gurus or the people that are doing courses. These people understand human nature, but they're doing it to harm the other person, but to gain. So there's that side as well. And I say it's very important for every man to understand human nature, because you could see the flaws the moment it shows itself. It's almost as if the same thing with trust. The same way I give people one chance with me, I give myself one chance with people. So it's kind of like if I say, I have one chance with you, right? That means I can do right, right? And the same thing with me, do right. Because people know right from wrong. But once you understand human nature, because once trust is broken, you cannot get it back. Because people will tell you, oh, I got to gain this person's trust back. Now it comes with motive. It's not natural. It comes with motive. When it comes with motive, it's never real. So when you understand human nature, there's a certain way you move.
Yeah.
Because you're no longer giving people second chances. You give people, the people you give chances to are people who deserve it, and the people who deserve to be around you. You take the weeds off very fast. You surround yourself around the right crowd very quickly. You make way better decisions when you understand human nature, especially yourself. So, yeah, that's my take on human nature.
And like you said you only give one chance to people, right? And when people, you have to give one chance. You can't give multiple chances to people, because people don't change. Giving a second chance to someone is like reading the same book but expecting a different ending. People don't change unless they truly want to change. And of course, when you're a good person, you want to see the best in people. But in reality, you can't change someone. They can only change if they truly want to be changed.
Not a lot of people are going to agree with me, but women do have intuition. And a lot of time, they know this guy's a piece of shit. They know it, that this guy's a piece of shit, but guess what? They want to change him. But you can't change them. People change once they're ready to change. Whenever they feel like they need to change. That's when people change.
Yeah.
You go and try to change somebody, it's not going to happen. Definitely not in your time. Who the fuck are you? That's why it's so important to focus on yourself. And also, you can't make somebody happy. I had this conversation with my girl, and I'm glad we both are in this understanding. We cannot make each other happy. We have to be happy ourselves. We will appreciate each other's company, and that we will always, find ways and make things work. But it's not my duty to make her happy, and it's not her duty to make me happy. And man, that's when change comes. When two people come together, and they've already worked on themselves. Like I said, the thing is magic. And we didn't partner, so I have to change you. You know what I mean? I don't have to be like, hey, Robert, you gotta change this and this. We have our flaws, yes, but we're working on our flaws. But it's not up to you to change me. It's not up to me to change you.
Without me, you would still be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And without you, I'm still going to be a millionaire.
Exactly.
I'm still going to get to my goals. We don't need each other. We know that we benefit each other, and that's why we came together. But it's not out of necessity, out of understanding the vision and understanding that we can help each other get there.
And people have to be very careful when it comes to partnership and the people around you. Because when someone needs you, it's not the same thing when somebody doesn't need you. When someone needs you, they there for something. There's something that's not revealed yet that they need you for. The moment that thing is gone, you're out the door with it. The moment they get it, you can no longer trust that person anymore. So yes, guys, so that was our first podcast.
No,
on
this was not our first podcast. We recorded a podcast, had a lot, honestly, probably even better energy.
Oh, man.
And the whole time the mics were off.
Yes.
So,
oh, my God.
This is the re-recording of the first podcast.
Yes.
I think we missed out on a lot of points that we spoke about in the first one.
I know
which sucks.
I know we did.
But we didn't quit. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Do us a favor, help us with the algorithm, like, comment, subscribe, do all of those great things for us. This is the Beyond Wealth podcast. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Let's go.
Deuces.